So in the last class, we have stopped with this slide. Okay, we have seen the byte connected components. Okay, and also we have seen the articulation point. We call that articulation point is nothing but the articulation vertices. Vertices. Okay, if at all, if there is no articulation vertices, then I call that kind of graph, that type of graph, as a byte connected graph. Okay. So next, we'll see how many number of edges required for directed and undirected graph. Okay. In case of simple directed graph, see, keep in mind, always we are telling about the simple directed graph. Always you know that simple graph is nothing but it does not consist of any loop. Okay, any loop in the sense like self loop or multiple edges or multiple edges or self loop. Those kind of graph you call it as a simple graph. In case of simple directed graph, so how many number of edges required? It falls between 0, so it's a mathematical notation. Okay, the number, if anything required, can please chat me in the chat box. You have one of the student has raised the hand. Please let me know in the chat box. Is there anything else? So in case of directed graph, how many number of edges? Okay, how many to calculate the number of edges? So this is the thing, right? The minimum 0 edges and it falls between n into n minus 1 edges. This is in case of a directed graph. Okay, but in case of undirected graph, right? So we can go from one vertices to another vertices and come back from the I can reach from A to B and B to A. So that is the advantage of undirected. I don't have any direction in the graph, direction the edges. So obviously what? Obviously my edges will reduce. Okay, since there is no what direction. In case of directed graph, if I want to read, if there is a direction from A to B, okay, and if there is no direction from B to A, okay, so there what happens? What this number of edges is reduced in case of undirected graph. That's what is n by 2. It is divided by 2. N into n minus divided by 2. Right. So what is simple graph? No self loop and multiple edges. Okay. And then coming to the point here, dense graph. What is here dense graph? Right. So graph, you know that it consists of vertices and edges. Okay. If there are more, okay, if there are more number of edges in a graph, it's look like more concentrated or more dense. It's like every nodes are connected, every vertices are connected with each other. Okay, you consider strongly connected graph. In case of strongly connected graph, what happens? Every vertices can have the path to reach to other vertices in the other remaining vertices in the graph. Okay, if you want to model those kind of scenario, you require more number of edges. Okay, so I call that type of graph as a dense graph. Okay, vice versa, sparse graph. If there is no more number of there is no more number of edges. Okay, it have a moderate number of edges. Okay, you can consider that like a weakly connected graph. Weakly connected graph. I can call those kind of graph as a sparse graph. Okay, then coming to the next point, how will I model this dense graph? How will I represent? Okay, I can use adjacency matrix. Okay. So that is the next topic that we'll see elaborately. Okay, the today's session is about adjacency matrix and the adjacency list. We'll see the operations performed in the graph also. Okay, otherwise we'll do in the next class. Right. So I hope you understand about dense graph and sparse graph. It's nothing but how you are going to represent nothing but store. Okay, how you are going to model. I'm going to model this dense graph. It is good to model the dense graph using adjacency matrix. Okay, it's good to model the sparse graph in adjacency list. Okay, and simple path, no vertices, thus no edges are repeated. Okay, you know that. In case of simple path, no vertices and no edges also repeated. Okay, even in the last class we discussed elaborately on this some properties of the graph. Before getting into these things, we have to know the properties of the graph, different types of graphs. And you look at this diagram. Okay, in the left hand side you have a graph here. We call it as a tree, but you know that tree is a specialized form of graph. Okay, it is also a type of graph. Tree is also a type of graph. Okay, you can find that undirected acyclic graph. It's not forming a cycle. It's not forming a cycle. Cycle means what? It should form a loop. I start from any vertex. I can reach the same vertex by visiting all other vertex or remaining vertex. If at all there is, I can take any path. I can take any path. Okay, and again I'll reach the same source. My source and destination are same. If there is a path exists, if there is a path exists where I can start from node A and I can reach the same node A, then I say that there is a loop is forming. Okay, so you look at this diagram left hand side, it is an undirected, so it means why it is undirected, there's no direction in the edges. Acyclic, it is not forming any cycle. Okay, so just I have drawn in the note and captured and displayed. Okay, I hope it is visible. This is indirect acyclic graph. Okay, and this is one directed. Simply, it's all the edges having a direction, and it's a acyclic graph. Usually, it is notated as it is pronounced as DAG. DAG. Short form we call it as an DAG. And you know about digraph. Digraph nothing but directed graph. Here DAG represents directed acyclic graph. Directed acyclic graph. In this right hand side graph, you cannot form a cycle. You cannot form a cycle. For example, if you start from here, okay, I want to reach the node again 1 by visiting all other node. Okay, I can go up to here. I cannot go back. Like there's no path from this node. It's all the edges are incident to this vertex. There's no edges are emerging outwards from this vertex. Okay, so in this graph, I cannot able to form a cycle. That's why I'm calling it as an acyclic graph. It's a directed acyclic graph. Next, of graph, or how you are going to store the vertices or nodes and edges in the graph. I'm going to store it in the graph. One second for a moment. I'll mute myself. 1 second. So there are 3 common ways of storing graphs in the computer memory, right? So you are going to store the vertices and edges in the computer memory. Okay, what is the first one? Adjacency matrix. Adjacency matrix. Second is adjacency list. So first one is adjacency matrix. and second one is adjacency list, and third one is adjacency multi-list. Sequential representation by using an adjacency matrix. The first one is sequential representation, and second one is linked representation. Okay. So in case of linked representation, it stores the neighbors of a node using a linked list fashion. Okay. And finally, the third one is adjacency multi-list, which is an extension of linked representation. Okay. So we are going to see one by one. Don't worry about this. We are going to see. We are going to in detail. We are going to see about the adjacency matrix and the adjacency list. Okay. First is adjacency matrix. Adjacency matrix is used to represent which nodes are adjacent to one another. Okay. From the name, right? Now we have to model the graph as a matrix. For example, in case of matrix, you know, right? Number of there will be number of columns and number of rows. 1 second, someone is chatting. Voice breaking. Guys, now it is audible. Okay, now it is audible, guys. Guys, please reply. Here, when you take the first row, here when you take the first row, what happens? Who are the nodes adjacent to node A? Adjacent to node A. So when you look at this A to B, so you have a direction called, you have a directed edge. So it is enabled as 1. It is enabled as 1. So it is 1. So others, when you take the other nodes, guys, external noise is there. I'll make myself go to room and I'll take second. Okay. So when you take the first graph, okay, first graph. When you take the first graph, I'm modeling this graph as a what? Matrix. So since I'm having 5 vertex, I'm making it as 5 cross 5 matrix. Okay. So when you take the first vertex A, okay, who are all the adjacent to A? So since it is a directed graph, so I can find only the neighbors of A or B and D. B and D are only the neighbors of A. Okay, so that's why it is enabled. See, that's why this A comma B and A comma D is enabled. Others are disabled. Okay, and you can find out here what is A comma A is 0. Why? Because A comma A does not have any self loop. Okay, A does not have any self loop. If there is no self loop, obviously the diagonal will be 0. You can find out here. You can find here, if there is no self loop in the graph, obviously the diagonals of the matrix will be 0. Okay, right. Look at the next graph. It is directed graph with loop. With loop in the sense nothing but self loop. Okay, self loop. So for example, when you look at this B, it is having a self loop. So B can reach B. B can reach B. There is a path from B to B itself. So that's why this is enabled. Okay, when you look at this point, when you look at this one, B, B comma B. B comma B is what? 1. B comma B is 1. It is enabled as 1. Right? Fine. And is there anything difference is there? No. Here, when you look at this, since it is self loop, since it is left self loop, so the diagonals or some diagonals and the some in the diagonal some bit is enabled as 1 because some of the vertex is having self loop. Okay, right. And look at this undirected graph. In case of undirected graph, right, the look at the undirected graph. I am taking first the node A. Okay, A is connected to B and A is connected to D. Okay, obviously leave it. This is the first, similar to the first case. Look at this B. Okay, B is connected to A. B is connected to C. B is connected to D. So it means that the nodes, the neighbor nodes of B are A, C, and D. Okay, so look at here. In case of B node, the neighbors are A, the neighbors are A, C, and D. So that's why it is enabled as 1. But both the graphs are same, right? Except the direction. You look at the direction. So in case of first graph, you don't have any direction. Sorry, in case of first graph, you have direction. And look at this weighted graph. This is a directed weighted graph. Okay, instead of 1, we are making the weights. Okay, so for example, A to B. If I want to reach A to B, I need some unit to reach B, some distance. The distance nothing but 4. Okay, so that's why if we want to reach from A to B, if I want to reach from A to B, I require 4 some kilometer or something else. Okay, so nothing but the distance. Okay, so instead of enabling 1, instead of connecting connection, instead of 1, I'm making the weights here. Okay, I'm storing the weights of the edges in the matrix. Okay, this is what about the representation adjacency matrix. Okay, how you are going to represent the graph in adjacency matrix. Okay, I hope there is no doubt in this. It's very simple. Okay, fine. So for a simple graph, for a simple graph, the adjacency matrix has zeros on the diagonal. Okay, yes, zeros on this for a simple graph, because simple graph does not have any loops. The adjacency matrix of an undirected graph is symmetric. Symmetric. See, when you look at this, graph. It is a symmetric. This is symmetric because it's an undirected graph. The memory use of an adjacency matrix is order of n square. So this is the disadvantage of the adjacency matrix. Okay, this is the disadvantage of the adjacency matrix. If there is n vertices, you require n square space. Okay, the space obviously increases. Okay, even though there are no connections. See, you look at the this graph, first graph. Okay, how many bits are enabled? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 bits are enabled. But how much space it require? 5 cross 5, right? 25. Out of 25 bits, only 6 bits are enabled. So this is the disadvantage of the adjacency matrix. That's why we are going for the adjacency list. Okay, and there is a advantage of this also when we are modeling it as a adjacency matrix. Okay, that I will tell. You can easily find out the neighbor. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of the adjacency matrix. It requires order of n square, where n is the number of nodes in the graph. Right? Number of ones in an adjacency matrix is equal to the number of edges in the graph. Yes, obviously. See, number of, how we come know if there is number of ones is there, I can say that number of edges. So how many I told? 6, no? In the first graph, how many number of ones? 6. So it means that there are 6 edges in the graph. Yes. The adjacency matrix for a weighted graph contains the weights of the edges connecting the nodes. Yes, that's what we told. It contains the weights of the edges. Weights of the edges like 4, okay, 7, 5, 3. It's nothing but the weights of the edges. Weights of this connecting the vertices, connecting the nodes. Yes. So if at any point, if you are not able to hear me, please let me know. Okay. Next, the representation. The same way we are representing for the adjacency matrix. Here, the number of nodes taken is how many? Like 8 nodes, right? Here, the number of nodes taken is 8 nodes, and this is the representation of the adjacency matrix, right? It's an undirected graph, unweighted graph. Okay, so this 8, how we are representing? So see, if you want to represent this graph, first I should have a key value pair. Key value pair. Like uh, if A, I should map this A to first 0. I should map this A to 0. Then I should map B to 1. Okay, so that's what. So if it is like alphabets or if it is like some city names, I should map that city to some numeric value. Then I can easily track the number of who are all the adjacent to this city, right? For example, when I am taking the node A, okay, node A is nothing but 0. Okay, vertices. I am representing the map or mapping the A to 0, mapping the B as 2, mapping the F as 5, H as 7. Okay, so here it represents the number of what uh, vertices. Okay, similarly, I have to define it for it since it is 8 vertices. So I have to define 8 cross 8 matrix, 8 cross 8 matrix. Okay, you can find all the bits on the disabled and enabled. Okay, based upon the connection between the vertices. And next important point here you want to note down here is that how I need to find the adjacent nodes. In case of adjacency matrix, what is the time required? What is the time required to find the adjacency node? It requires order of V. Okay, it requires order of V. Why? Because V represents the number of vertices. Okay, so see, for example, when you take the node A, A is nothing but 0. Now I want to find the neighbor nodes of 0 or A. So 0 is nothing but what? A. I want to find the adjacent city, okay, or neighbor city of A. Okay, what should I do? I should keep on checking the bits of bits of the first row, right? Whether it is connected or not. Okay, but I should what? I should check until the last vertex, right? Until the last vertex. So what is the number of vertex? 8. Okay, so I should keep on checking. It is 0. It is enabled or not? No, it is not connected. There is no self loop, right? So whether 0 is connected to 1, yes, it is connected. 0 is connected to 2, yes, it is connected. Whether 0 is connected to 7, so I should keep on what? traverse for each and every bit in the row, okay, until the last vertices. So that's why I'm telling here that order of V. So it requires order of V time to find the adjacent nodes in the adjacent nodes for a particular node in case of adjacency matrix, and finding if two nodes are connected. Okay, if I want to find two nodes are connected, it requires only minimum of time, like what is this constant time. Okay, so for example, 4 cross 4. Directly I will check what 4 cross 4 is what here, right? This box. So 4 cross 4 is what? It's not connected. Okay, 5 cross 7. I am checking if I want 5 is connected. Where is 5 here? 5 is connected to 7. Okay, directly I check the bit. Okay, this bit. So it is enabled. So it is connected. It means that it requires only constant time to find the connection between any two nodes. It requires constant time, nothing but order of one. Okay, it can be any time like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Generally we are saying it requires only constant time, order of one. Okay, it's understood, guys? Can you reply me, guys? Can you reply me, anyone? So because we are going to see some of the operations, right? We are going to insert insert some nodes into the graph, delete a node in the graph. That is the program you are going to see now. Guys, can anyone reply? You can look at the adjacency list representation. So you take this graph A. A is, what is this graph? It is a directed unweighted graph. Directed unweighted graph. Keep it in mind. In case of directed unweighted graph, right? In case of directed unweighted graph, we require only the key elements. Okay, key elements. One second. Wait for a moment. So how this is represented, right? How this is represented. For each and every node, we have a linked list. For example, when I take node A, so this, let us consider this is a root node. For example, A, each and every node in the graph is considered a root node. So what are the neighbors are connected to node A? What are the neighbors are connected to node A? Yes, B, B and C. Okay. Only those nodes are entered in the list. Okay, you just what compare with the adjacency matrix. Compare with the adjacency matrix. Okay, where it takes all the, here it takes only two elements, right? Whereas in case of what adjacent matrix, it takes 4 elements, because there are 4 nodes. Okay, because there are 4 nodes, so it requires 4 additional of 2 spaces. Additionally of 2 spaces are required in case of adjacency matrix, but is not so in case of adjacency list, right? But the disadvantage again is that you want to store the address. Yes, that is one drawback is here, that we can ignore when, if it is like minimum number of edges. If it is like minimum number of edges, we can ignore this what uh, address, right? If you want to, in case of linked list, the disadvantage is what? Address, right? Storing the address part, right? And you look at this B. Okay, so who are all the adjacency of node B? So since it is a directed graph, C and C and D. Yes, C and D. Okay, here it is. So that's why B is connected to C and C is connected to D. No issues. It means that when I take node B, I can easily find out who are all the adjacency elements, adjacency of this node B. That's all.
Okay, and this is what adjacency list for. This is adjacency list representation. And in case of undirected graph, it is double the what? It is double the um, directed graph. It requires double the directed graph. Why? Because A is connected to B. That is fine. When in case of C, in A is connected to B, right? And B is connected to D. Done. It is done. But when I'm coming to the B, I have to write again what? I have to write again A also because it is undirected. Okay. So in case of undirected graph, what is the disadvantage? When in case of adjacency list is that it requires additional space. Just compare. Okay. You just compare this. Okay. And if I tell this graph, it will be clear for you. This is the weighted graph. Okay, this is the third graph I'm looking on. In case of third graph, you are going to represent the adjacency list, but it is a weighted graph. It is a directed weighted graph. Since it is weight is there, I am creating a node with three information. Okay, one is what? Storing the key value. The second field is storing the weight, and the third field is storing the address of the next node, right? So if information keep on increases means automatically we have to allocate space in the node, right? The same thing. Here we don't. Here in case of first graph, it is what? Unweighted. Here also it is unweighted graph. Okay. So here only what? Two information are there in the node. But in case of weighted graph, we have what? Three information. First one is the name of the or a key value of the node. Second field is what? The weight of the node. Sorry, so this is about edges, right side. Sorry, this is edges, right? Where it is connected, and weight of the edge, and the what? Address of the next element, next node. Fine. You compare. Assume that it is not a what? Assume that is not a not weighted. Let it be unweighted. I'm just crossing it. I'm just crossing it. Assume that it is a unweighted graph. Now the difference is that both are similar. So, both are similar. Both are similar except what? Direction. Except direction. So I no need of this one, right? I'll just erase it here. So, okay. I no need of this. I just a node consists of only two fields. Okay, one is the key name where it is connected, and the what address. Okay. When you look at this here, in case of directed graph, it takes only six spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You look at here, it requires what? Double 12. Why? Because it's undirected. That is what the inference here. That's what the inference. What we are inferring from the directed graph, from the undirected graph. The sum of the lengths, the sum of the length is of all the adjacent list is equal to the number of edges. Okay. What is the sum? 6, right? Sum is 6. In case of directed graph, is equal to the number of edges. Yes. If I count the edges, it is 6. But in the second one, second inference, what you're inferring from the undirect graph, the sum of the length of all adjacent list is equal to twice the number of edges. Here it is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here it is 6 edges. If you want to represent, it requires what? 12. Because it is undirect graph. It is 12. That is what this inference we are getting from the this graph. This is understood, guys? Can you able to understand? Can anyone give a reply? Okay, so here I have written clearly that finding the adjacency nodes of the matrix order of order of 1. Okay, similarly for finding adjacency nodes is obviously it requires only what same order of vertices, order of v, depends upon the number of edges, depends upon the number. See, for example, node when you look at this, okay, so I have to keep on check for the what the elements in the linked list, whether it is connected or not, whether it is there or not. So I should keep on going until the last vertices, right? So that's why it said order of v depends upon the number of vertices. And finding if two nodes are connected, it also requires the same order of v. Okay, this is the time complexity of the adjacency matrix and the adjacency list.